Hi, this is Mr. Covell, and I'm here to do a recording of a reading for our kindergarten friends. We're trying to work this in with our teacher work that we might be getting to you in the next couple days. So let's go ahead and start with this reading. I know your teachers miss you terribly, and they can't wait to get back to do this with you in the classroom. But right now, I'm sitting here in my home, and I'm going to go through this passage with you. We're going to read On the Ship. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on this sound that goes together. On the ship. So we're going to look at the SH, and the SH sound says shh. So let's look at some of the words that we need to learn on this passage. We're going to work on these words. Notice each one has an SH in it. Let's go ahead and underline those SH there. Look, this one has the SH at the end of the word instead at the beginning of the word. This one too. There's an SH in this word. And there's an SH here. And there's an SH here. And remember the SH makes the sound sh. So let's go over here to our letter board. This is something that you can do at home. It's a website. It's www.reallyGreatReading.com/lettertiles/ and it's up here. You might be able to zoom that in and just get that website real quick, and you could do that at home. So there's lots of things you could do with this letter tile activity, but we're going to start off with our first word, which is the title of the passage, On the Ship. So let's look at the word ship. How many sounds do we hear in the word ship? Let's do it together. Sh, I, p. How many sounds in ship? 3. So we're going to pull a tile down to represent each one of the sounds. So let's do this together. Ship. Sh, I, p. Ship. Now we know from what we just talked about is that first sound of this word is sh. And so what did we say represents the sound sh? SH, that's right. So we could take this and move this down and put it, and that's our first sound. Sh, I, p. Now let's look at the second sound. Sh, I, p. I. And we learned from our teachers in the classroom that I is what letter makes the I sound? That's right, it's the short I. So we bring that down, and then we end it with the last sound. We got sh, I, and the last sound is p. So let me ask you, what letter makes the sound p? The letter P. That's right. So we move this over, and we create the word with our 3 sounds. Sh, I, p. Ship. Very good. So that's our first word, ship. And when we think about the word ship, we want to talk about what is a ship. Well, a ship is actually another name for a boat. We sometimes say that they're big boats, and we use the term cruise ship for those big ships that come over. And we also, we look at bigger boats like this that we would see maybe on the ocean as opposed to a river. We call that a ship underneath there. So let's take a look. Sometimes we can just leave these words the same, but just move a vowel away. And let's think about if we put a different vowel in, how we can change. We could think of other words. We think of the word shop. Remember, it's still the same three sounds. Sh, ah, p. Now, what is the change in sound? It's the sh, ah, ah. Now, what letter makes this sound ah? It's a vowel. Remember, our octopus, ah, octopus. Yes, we remember that from our really great reading lessons with our teachers. So let's move this over here. And so now we created a new word, sh, ah, p, shop. And when we think about the word shop, the way it's used in this passage, it's used two different ways. It could be a small store. A lot of times we go to a small store and it's called a shop. So and also it's also another way this is used is when we go to the store, we shop. So here's the word shop. Now we take a look sometimes, like we said before, the SH sound is sometimes at the end of words. So let's take a look at a new word. Let's take a look at the word fish. So when we think about the word fish, how many sounds are in the word fish? Let's count them out. F, I, sh, fish. How many sounds do we hear in fish? 3, that's right. We hear 3 sounds. F, I, sh, 3 sounds. So let's bring the tiles to represent the 3 sounds. F, I, sh. Okay. So now let's think of our first sound. We say fish, f, I, sh. What is the first sound? F. Yes, that's correct. What letter represents the sound f? F. That's correct. Let's bring it down. And now we have our first sound. So f, I, sh. What is the second sound now? F, I. Let's think back to last time. What letter represents the I sound? That is the short I. Yes, that's correct. And then we finish it out with our sound that we've been working on. F, I, sh. And what's the sound for sh? The letters? Yes. This digraph, SH. So now we have the word fish. F, I, sh. So fish are those creatures that we find in the ocean or river, and they look like this. We've seen fish before. Some of you might even have fish in your home. Might have an aquarium where you keep it in your home, or maybe some of you go fishing. You try and catch fish. So we have the word fish. Now let's use the SH at the end, and let's create another word. Let's move these over to the side. So we still have our fish word, but let's see if we can make up a new word. Let's look at one of the words in our story, dash. Dash. You hear the SH at the end, don't you? But let's take a look at what they are. How many sounds do we hear total? D, a, sh, dash, 3 sounds. So we still have our 3 tiles there. But what is the first sound? D, D. What letter represents the D sound? That's right, it's the D sound. Yes. Now that middle sound here, let's try it again. D, ah, sh. Ah is the center sound. And what vowel represents ah? Yeah, apple. Ah. It's the A. All right, let's put the A here. And now we have a new word using sounds that are familiar. We have dash. D-a-sh. Dash. And that's one of our new words. In this particular part of our story, the dash is a really fast, short run. Sometimes students aren't supposed to do this, but when we're trying to get out to recess, we run fast out to recess, and you're not supposed to do that, but we dash sometimes to get to recess because we're excited. So dash is a word that we're going to see in our reading, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. Now look, we can make another word just by taking this vowel, ah, and let's move the short I. And what's that sound for short I? I, like itch, right? So let's take this over and look what we end up with. We end up with a new word, dish. D-ish, dish. And we know that a dish is something that we eat our food on. Sometimes we call it a plate or a dish. We eat food on a dish. So let's take a look. And then let's move a couple more words. Let's keep our SH there. We have two more words that we're going to use. I want to move this I, this vowel I, and let's bring the A, back. Okay, let's think about another word that's in this story. It's called hash. Hash. So what do we hear in the beginning? Yes. And what letter makes the sound? The H. That's right. So we move this here, and we have ash, hash. So what is hash anyways? We don't hear that word too often, but it's in our story. And hash is a food actually. And you might have it and maybe you don't call it hash. We kind of call it leftovers. But anyways, it's a food you can get somewhere. It often has meat, potatoes, and carrots and gravy. Some people kind of call it a stew even. But it's all combined together, and it's called hash. Sometimes they have cornmeal or cornbread in it too, and they call it hash. It's just a mixture of food that you bring together. So that is called hash. And then one more last word that we need to learn with the SH sound here in our story is we just take one of our consonants away and change it. And the next one is rash. Rash. What do you hear that first sound? Ash, rash. So what makes the R sound? I'm sorry, what makes the sound? I gave it away, didn't I? So here we bring down the R. And now we have a new word. Ash, rash. And that's our last word that we're going to work with these tiles. So good job with this. And we have our words. Let's take a look at our word list again. So I'm going to say these words on the word list, and we're going to look at our SH sound. And I want you to say them after me. I'll give you a second of downtime here, but we're going to say these together. Ship. You say it now. That's right, ship. Let's go to the next one. There's our SH underlined there. Do you see it? Okay, let's say this one together. Let's say this one. Shop. Shop. Now you try it. That's right, shop. Let's go down to the next word that we just worked on. And we see the SH at the end. And we see ish, fish. Now you say it, fish. Good. Let's take a look at this word. This is dash, dash. Now you say it. Very good. Dash. Now let's look at this word. This word is dish. D-ish. Dish. Now you say it. Very nice. Let's move down to the next word. This next word is hash. Ash. Hash. Now you say it. Very good. Now our last word is rash. Rash. Now you say it. Rash. Very good. And those are our words. Now let's take a look and see if we can find these words in our passage. And if you have your paper with you, the teachers may have given this to you or not, but you can follow along. Let's look for each one of these words. I want to look for the word ship first. And I'm going to highlight it. There's ship. I see one here. I see one here. I'm looking for the SH. You might see some of these other words in here. See, as I go through, I'm looking for the word ship. Ah, I see one down here. Ship. Ship. Okay. Now, I did the ship. I want to take a look at the word shop. Let's see if we can find shop. I see it here. Remember, shop is used different ways. This is Sam and I shop. That means when you go to the store, you shop. Let's see if I can find another. I hope I'm not missing any, but if I miss one, we'll get it later. Here's shop. Now this one, it says, I can get a new rod if I dash to the shop. Going to the shop, that's a small store. This means what I'm going to do, the action, I'm going to shop. This one is another name for a store. And Sam is at the shop, another name for a store. Let's see, do I see any more shops here? Well, I think that's it for shop. Now let's look for the word fish. There's a fish with an F. I'm looking for the F when I go because that's the first sound. And then I can see the I as fish. That's the way I'm thinking of doing this. Maybe there's only one fish in this whole story. Yeah, I think that's it. Maybe I missed one, I don't know. Dash. Let's look at dash. I'm looking for the D. D-A. Dash. Okay. That's got, I'm moving down here. I see it here. Dash. Okay. Let's look for the word dish. Now see the difference? There's only one vowel difference, so I have to be careful when I look, and I'm looking for the dish. Oh, look, I missed the word fish here. We'll underline that now. But let's see. There's the word dish. I don't see it anywhere else right now. So dish, and then hash. Remember, hash, that's a different word. That's that. It's almost like a stew. Everything all mixed together. A big everything all put together. And let's look and see if we can find the word hash. I'm looking for that H. That's hat. I go through here. Oh, hash. We have hash. And I don't see it anywhere else. And the last one is rash. We're looking for the R. Ash. Okay. Oh, there it is. There's our SH. Rash. And I don't see it anywhere else. So rash is it's a like a red itchy patch you might have on your hand or somewhere on your arm or somewhere else. It's a red itchy patch, and on your skin. That's often called a rash. Rash. So let's read these words together one more time. Ship, shop, fish, dash, dish, hash, and finally rash. Well, that concludes our work in our word study prior to our reading of the passage. Now we'll move forward to part 2. I hope you'll join the next video, the part 2, and we will read the passage together on the ship. Thank you.